Hey, what's up, everyone? Someone let me know they can hear me. If so, we can get going. Anyone hear me? Anybody? Sounds good. Sweet. With that, we can get to it. Looking at SPX right now, we are at 68.40. Looks like we held the lows of prior day basically to the penny. I was in the pre-market actually. Yeah, 68.05. Seeing the pre-market prep right, looking at 0DT structure. Same goalpost as yesterday, that being 6,800, 6,850. That's the upside and downside kind of key goalpost of our Drunken Taylor range. So expecting chop within that price action. So far, we have not been able to break out of that today nor yesterday. Looking at, overall kind of momentum in the market right now, there really isn't any. You have a little bit of, cumulative tick, which is the raw, tick index. That's moving higher a little bit on an intraday basis, but filtered tick, there's nothing doing there. RSP showing a little bit of divergence actually from the cumulative tick, so just keep that in mind. So yeah, all that to say, nothing super bullish, nothing super bearish about the market when we went through the pre-market prep, all that good stuff this morning. From a swing trading time frame, so long as we maintain above this rainbow ribbon, right? That's kind of our long-term bullish momentum indicator signal, for lack of a better term. Our mechanical strategies are going to be turned on. So those are looking for new positions, all that good stuff. Kind of right now, though, it's just a matter of SPX itself is, we're just in a, multi-day range. So we really just need to break out of it one day at one side or another, obviously. So 68.50. Right, obviously looks a lot more likely now because we're at 68.40, but just be patient and really, if we can just see, that was 68.50 was the high of Friday, so let's just see if we break through that or not. What else to talk about right now? Yeah, I mean, all the indexes are just in between prior day range. IWM's actually breaking out here, so showing some relative strength there. Looking at the individual stocks, these are just kind of the Mag 7 plus Palantir. Right, we can see. So Tesla above prior day high, Google above prior day high. Everything else, though, is fairly weak from the kind of largest components point of view. So just keep that in mind. Something to note in the swing game plan, though. Right, here's our scatter plot of call dominated stocks. This is kind of the strike zone, this green box, meaning good risk to reward setup there. Yeah, I mean, the names in here, a lot of defensive kind of names in nature. Consumer staples, Dollar Tree, Pepsi, 3M, UPS. You got AMD in there, Wells Fargo, Exxon. You got Apple and Google down here, but not a ton of upside. So just something to consider. Yeah, looking at the core stocks here, right? These are, the Mag 7 plus some other larger components. We can just see here quickly, where, this is PlusX and P-Trans relative. P-Trans above the X-axis, above P-Trans, which is good. That's key upside acceleration level, right? To the left of the Y-axis, that means it's below P-Trans plus GEX, which is our key upside level. So, Meta looks good from a purely risk to reward point of view. And then going over the dashboard, Meta looks fine as well. It's above its transition zones. So just see if you can keep plowing higher. Let's go to Meta real quick. Yeah, so Meta again, kind of just in the range from Friday. So trading a lot like the market. No surprise there. You can see it's holding P-Trend so far in the session, so kind of a good level to risk against if you're looking to trade this intraday. All that good stuff. Going back to SPXP. Oh, this is stage, whatever. A couple things couple things to note that we're pushing out to production after the close. One, you'll be able to flip between net gamma dollars and net gex. That was important to some people, so we just included it. Most people use net gex, which is fine. A lot of people put a ton of importance on this metric too, which kind of tells me if you do that, you may not understand conceptually everything, because we talk a lot more about delta, charm, all that good stuff, as opposed to net gex, right? So just keep that in mind. The other thing we're doing is you'll be able to turn off the auto scaling. So right now, the web app dynamically scales based off the strikes and range in terms of the size of the bars. But if you don't like that, if you want them to stay stagnant, then you'll have that option as well. But yeah, updates be pushed out Monday. Really you just have net charm. You can throw in net Vanna there as well, just so you can understand kind of where those key strikes are at. You can kind of visualize the overhead and the kind of overhead weight, or the support under us, and where those key strikes are at. That if those get taken out, it could flip those Greek dynamics, right? You can see that in the surface model, but this is just another way to look at it. Oops. QQ is not a ticker. Looking at QQQs. Yeah, it looks fine. It's above its DEX transition zone on the full complex. Yeah, 620, obviously key level there. Looking at 0 DTE. Yeah, more of the same, right? Transition zone. Yeah, it looks fine. Not a ton to say there. Yeah, obviously, 625, that'd be a great level to get above on the QQQ, so just keep that in mind. Big gamma level, big charm level, delta level, obviously. So cognizant of that there. Let me know if y'all have any other questions, any other stocks. I got to run here in 5 minutes, but, just wanted to quickly come in, walk through our pre-market prep. Looking at going through SPXA, SPXP, scroll too far. It's really nothing remarkable in either direction. So, SPXP, just looking at 6840 is kind of key level we want to claim there. And yeah, we've been through 0 DT stuff. Yeah, so kind of the path for today is 6850, then up to 6880. And then, obviously between 6,800, 6,850, big chop zone, below 6,800, kind of the key overall fulcrum in the structure. Could potentially see some downside. But right now, market's just chopping around. I don't want to say it's strong. Relative from the pre-market lows, it's strong, but, it's sort of chopping around the zone. Looking at the vol-im, right, which is a visualization of behavior speculation on the 0 DT time frame. We can see if puts and troids are moving up at a 45-degree angle, right? This is a signature we always see of sideways to higher moving markets. So I'd be hard pressed to have a downside bias right now. There's just really no information telling us at this moment in time that there's going to be meaningful downside. Again, if that breaks below 6,800, we see out-of-the-money put speculation start to roll over. Obviously that changes things, but right now, calls are kind of a flat top is what I call it. So it's sideways, puts ramping higher. So this is just a classic pattern of probably choppy to slightly higher price action. So you should probably have that bias in mind right now. And then obviously if we get a break above 6850, we want to see, right, basically this pattern, 45-degree angle higher. But on the call side, we want to see filtered tick buying come in, and all that good stuff. But right now, again, just sideways consolidating market. So, frankly, nothing super exciting. Hopefully that's clear. If it's not, feel free to ask a question so I can, explain it differently. I know it kind of clicks for people differently, just going through some individual stocks. Obviously, Tesla looks strong. Yeah, I mean, kind of tricky. It's not a tricky spot in the market, but just, a lot of the names look very similar to market in general. Basically, we just had the massive V bottom. So kind of just now we're consolidating. So from here, kind of the move within the move, right? We had the move down a little bit, a lot more than 50% retracement higher. And then from there, do we settle back in next great uptrend, or, consolidation in the year end, or, downside, which obviously, that's literally the only three things that can happen, but it's where we're at right now. So, yeah, we just need to wait for kind of the next trend to form, right? Oops. Got Apple flirting around with its opening print here. Could kind of be meaningful here if Apple can hold the opening print or not. Any other specific stocks you guys want to walk through? Google remaining strong. Google, right? Just keep in mind it has plus guys at 320, kind of right where it ran out of steam so far in the session today. So, good level to be cognizant of. If you're in the name, looking to get in the name, all that good stuff. Microsoft, found support right at negative cash level. Not surprising there. So, yeah, kind of how it goes. No, I didn't know it was going to have the massive gap. I'm sorry. ABGO, Walmart, they must be doing AI now, right? Parabolic move, that's crazy. Yeah, so I don't know. Just to me, there's not a whole lot to be done right now. Kind of just sitting on hands from a swing trading time frame. See if we can get an opportunity to do some in zero DT time frame. But right now, it's just a lot of chop. Honestly, not super interested unless we break above or below kind of two prior day high, prior day low, which is fairly close to our upper and lower goalposts for the day. So. Could be another boring day of not doing anything, but we'll just see. So, yeah, just keep monitoring vol M, keep monitoring market trend model. Don't know if I'll be back on today or not, but we'll be in the Discord discussing stuff. So, again, and then last thing, if you're new to us, no idea what I was just talking about, that's fine. It happens. Go to Gamma Edge FastPass. You can sign up for that. That's our education module. So basically everything that a new trader gets joining Gamma Edge, you get in here. Frameworks, trading strategies, how to use the tools, all that good stuff. So with that, Tom, I don't know if you're talking what you mean by VIX, but looking at VIX, it's at 16.4. So do with that what you want. I'm not a volatility expert. I'm sure there's people on here that I know for a fact there's a lot of people on here that can speak about it way more intelligently than me. But yeah, if this breaks materially lower, see how many call speculation, then could get a little bit of a bump to the upside. So, but it's kind of in the middle of the range. So 16, whatever, that's fine. So all right, I need to run, but appreciate the time, y'all, and we'll see you later.